God has a plan and he has a purpose. One of the greatest things that happen to individuals is that nobody tells them what they're called to do. Children lives should be spoken into them and says, you're going to be God's little woman. You're going to be God's man. I see you as a doctor. You have to be spoken into. Just like the enemy speaks word curses over a child, also you should speak good things, because guess what? Those things will follow them. You'll be asking them, well, why are you going to school for that? I don't know. I just always thought I should have been. You know why? Because mom or dad ignited that vision on the inside of them. When you decide to follow Jesus, let me explain to you what happens. There's a war. You enter a war, but it's a war you've already won. Yes. Can you imagine you go to war and you've already got the trophy? That's the way it is. However, in the midst of getting the trophy, there will be the enemy will try to let some things come about and happen, right? Because he doesn't want you to walk in God's fullness. Because in the fullness, you will be able to do great exploits. In the fullness, you'll be able to save your family. In the fullness, you will begin to know what the enemy is doing. So he does not like that. So let's just make some declarations here. In the Old Testament, Joseph's pain brought him to leadership. Some pain is not always bad. God uses pain. Pain has purpose. Pain calls things to change. It calls people to change. If you think about it, if you read in the Word of God, when Joseph saw his brothers and his fathers before he disclosed who he was, he wept. That means he had already forgiven them. He wept. He longed to see them. Do you know he was in a position where he really could have done some great trouble to them? He had a chance to get after them that caused pain. Who caused you pain? Remember, I'm here going through this door with you. This is the last time you got to go through this door. Who caused you pain? Come on, think about them. Yeah, come on, show their faces, let me say that. Do you know, what if you were Joseph? What if you had a chance to, oh, you need something from me, you're going to starve to death. Oh yeah, he was in the controlling seat. Isn't that amazing? His pit got him there. Who would have ever thought? He wept. He could have been angry. He could have been vengeful, but he didn't. In relationships, there is pain and there's unspoken expectations. Do you know when individuals come together in a relationship, believe it or not, they'll say, oh no, I don't have any expectations. They do. Everybody has something in their mind or something in their heart that they're expecting from them. Let's just say two girls are friends. One says, oh, you know how to run track better than me. We're friends, so you're going to teach me. That's unspoken in relationships. Wives and husbands, they expect from each other. So whenever something bad happens or they separate or things happen, what are they really mad at? What they didn't get. Their expectations. So I want you to think about that very, very careful. And you have to understand, you expect only from God. I tell individuals who's in relationships all the time that they should set and make sure you know what the expectations are so you won't get let down. This is the reason why you should grow in the Spirit together. When you grow in the Spirit together, you enjoy the expectations and build expectations together. This is also the reason why a person's past is so important. Because if your past may not have certain things in it, well, you're expecting, well, this person can provide this for me. Or if someone says, well, oh, she's a nurse, or she's a doctor, or this one's a lawyer. Oh, well, he'll be able to help me. Unspoken expectations. Discern yourself. Come on, dig inside. Come on. Who did you expect? I expected things from my mom. I never spoke them, but I did. I expected things from her. I expect her to do certain things, and I expect her to give me certain things. I sure did. She don't have a clue I had those things in my head. Do you know there are times that children are mad at their parents for things the parents have no clue? You'll ask the child and say, well, where did you get that thought from? Well, I said, so you think your parents should have just known that? There are very different levels of thinking, different levels of understanding. Also, there's different capacities. And you have to understand that when you're dealing with people. And you're going to understand why I'm bringing this to a point. The worst thing that you could do whenever you have pain that's hidden down on the inside of you is not to properly deal with it. You can't medicate pain. You can't motivate it. You know how you motivate pain? You tell everybody what has went on with you. Everybody. Everybody's heard the pain. They've heard your story. They could almost repeat the story for you. Come on, think about it. They can. How do you medicate it? Oh, well, Prophetess, you mean to tell me, you're saying that yes, you are medicating it. How are you doing that? You're blaming it on your husband. You blame your pain and your misery on your husband. You blame it on your wife. Because guess what? It's not the husband, it's not the wife, it's not even the pornography. No, it's not the drugs, and it's not your drinking. It's the pain that's hidden deep down on the inside. Oh my God. Father, thank you for a wave of healing. Now there's angels that are hovering in each corner of this room. They are healing angels, and they're here for you. You just got to receive. Just say, Lord, I receive today. Oh yeah, that's all it took. When you have pain, you need to hear from heaven. That's the answer. You need a word from the Lord. Think about Martha. Did any one of you have a Martha spirit? Martha was so worried and troubled by other things that she kept having a fit because Mary chose the better part. Sometimes when you've went through pain, you worry about a lot of, everything get on your nerves, everything agitates you, everything frustrates you. Sometimes you're wondering, well, what is the problem? You're frustrated. Yeah, you're frustrated. And you're mixing those pains together. And your husband or your wife or your friend or your job, somebody's getting the brunt of it. Because this pain is undealt with. But I want to give you hope today. God has a plan for your life. But you can't access it because that wall of pain is stopping you. How many of you know you have a call upon your life? Awesome. Awesome. When you know what God has called you to do, you will become powerful, totally powerful. Because see, nobody can come in and give you a bag of fruit and say, hey, go sell this on the side of the road. That's what you're called to do. You can say, I know what I'm called to do, and I'm getting ready to access it. But see, Martha had a lot of other things frustrating her. But let's go to the scriptures, Psalms 27:5. I'm reading out of the English Standard Version, and it reads, for he hides me in the shelter, and in the day of trouble, he will conceal me under the cover of his tent, and he will lift me high up on a rock. So that's saying whenever you go through trouble, and whenever you got pain going deep down on the inside of you, you are to run to God. He's going to put you high above it. He may not take you out of it immediately. Remember, your prayer partner's hands are right there. Just grab that hand and touch it whenever you feel like you need strength. See, because nobody knows what you're dealing with. They don't know what you're dealing with. They have no clue. They see your pretty face. They think you're rich and going well and doing wonderful. But on the inside, You screaming, Lord, help me. Now there's getting ready to be several waves of healing. So with a prayer partner, I want you to make sure you stay close and make sure you release that power. He will hide me in his shelter. Do you know that there are times that people have no clue of the pain you've went through from a child? They just see the way you look right now. They have no clue. They judge you now by things that you've went through. Oh, but we're getting ready to deal with that. Let's talk about pain today. So I'm a pastor. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a mentor. And people seek me out for help. But not because of anything that I've gained from those titles or any success that has come from those titles. Why do you think they seek me out? They seek me because of the history of my pain. They do. I'm sorry I let you down. You thought it was my certification, right? It's not. It's because I tell my stuff. Because the Lord said I would heal thee, Miranda, if I can trust you to tell your story to heal my people. So I have no shame in my game because I have nothing to be ashamed about. Because I walk in liberty and joy. And I'm going to pass it on to you today. See, some of you are really living under the pressures of your mother or your father. The word curses they spoke over you. The love they wouldn't give you. The love they gave to someone else. Yeah, the day mama had a bad attitude because daddy didn't do right by her, and you just happened to look just like daddy. Not by your choice. But now you're labeled, and now all of a sudden you're the black sheep of the family, and you didn't even ask to be. Matter of fact, you didn't even ask to come here. It was their choice. But that's okay. You're going to find it's their choice. It may be your pain right now, but not for long. Not for long. They seek me because of the history of my pain. The knowledge that I've gained from the pain, the wisdom that I've gained from it, how I have determined to be able to heal and bring deliverance to anybody that God will set in my path. Do you know that the call of God does not stop just because you got pain or someone gave you injustice? Somebody might think, well, you know, God let this happen to me. I'm not fulfilling no call. No. Do you know he's closer to you when you're hurting? Do you know he's there at your whisper when you're hurting? Do you know that pain grows with age? Do you know it gets uglier? Do you know it gets bitter? Do you know whenever pain is down in your soul, do you know you can't hear the voice of God? It is almost as if God is at a distance. I'm going to throw in a lot of prophetic nuggets here while we deal with this pain. When you have pain reaping on the inside of you, it knows the voice of God. The enemy can play with you and make you think it's not God, tell you something opposite.